my channel. If you're new here, my name's Eva. If you're not new here, thank you so much for returning. In today's video, I'm going to show you guys how to make a cute personalized doormat. These are great gifts for any occasion. They're great housewarming gifts, and they're also just a great product if you're wanting to add it to your business. We're going to be doing this design right here. We're going to be doing a leopard shamrock. So let's just get right into the video. If you guys learn anything, please give this video a like, subscribe if you want to, and let's do it, you guys. So this is everything that I use personally to create a personalized mat. So we have our mat, of course. For the stencil, I use Oracal 651, which is permanent vinyl. Then we have some transfer tape, some painter's tape, a scraper, scissors, acrylic paint if you're wanting to color it something besides black, Flex Seal, and then a matte clear spray to seal the mat, Cricut mats, and then a iron. You can also use a hair dryer, heat gun, or a Cricut Easy Press. This is just what works for me. And then of course you're gonna need your Cricut cutting machine or some type of cutting machine, silhouette, etc. So this is a cute design that I'm gonna be showing you guys how to put on a mat. Since St. Patrick's Day is coming up, I thought we'd do something cute like this. I did buy this design off of Etsy. All right, so we're gonna open a new project in Cricut Design Space. We're gonna upload the image that I just purchased from Etsy. So the mat that I'm using in this video, I did get from Target. It was about $10, and you can see right here that it's 18 by 30. So I'm just gonna go ahead and use my 12 by 12 mat and make this clover as big as Cricut is gonna let me cut out. So I'm gonna do 11.5 by 11.5. Then I'm gonna go ahead and ungroup the image since it is a layered image, and I'm gonna take off the green since I'm gonna just paint that in separately. So I do not want that. This is what I wanna get cut out. So we're gonna go ahead and click make it. So I clicked make it. This is what's showing up on my screen. Now I'm gonna go ahead and load my stencil, which I'm using Oracal 651 onto my mat. So I'm gonna do a 12 by 12 and get this cut out. So I'm cutting my Oracal 651 to size. I did do it a little bit bigger than a 12 by 12, so I had some extra space on the top and the bottom. And then I'm gonna let the Cricut go ahead and cut out the stencil. So now that our design is cut out, it's time to weed it. But we're not gonna weed it how we would usually do it if we were putting it on a cup or something like that. We're actually gonna reverse weed. So we are going to keep what we would usually take off. I hope that makes sense to you guys. So I'm gonna leave the outer part, and I'm just gonna remove the outline of the clover or shamrock since that's what I'm wanting to put onto my mat. So I'm gonna start here, and I am going to reverse weed. So I am going to take off what I would usually keep. So I'm removing the outline of the shamrock, and I'm going to go ahead and also remove each leopard spot. Make sure you don't miss any because that will mess up your whole design. Okay, so I weeded out all of the pieces. So this is your stencil. So this is what I'm actually going to be spraying with the Flex Seal. So now I'm going to grab my transfer tape and put it all the way over the design so we can transfer this onto our mat. So let's go ahead and do that. For this part, just make sure you scrape very, very well. You want to make sure the transfer tape picks up your whole design. Okay, so now we have our stencil. We're going to go ahead and put it on the mat. I'm going to show you guys exactly how I do it. I do use a little bit of heat to help the transfer tape come off of the vinyl. Permanent vinyl is just what works for me as the stencil. I know some people use freezer paper. I've tried that, and this is just an easier option for me. So I'm going to show you guys exactly how I put it on the mat. Okay, so I went ahead and plugged in my iron. Don't mind my iron. It's super, super old. It is on low. So let's go ahead and put the stencil on the mat. So here I was just eyeballing where I was going to put the stencil, and surprisingly it came out perfect. All sides matched up. It was in the center. Then I'm using a sheet of butcher paper to put over the design, and I'm going to put some low heat with my iron. That for me helps the transfer tape come off of the permanent vinyl. You don't want to put too much heat because it could mess up your design. Now for the hard part, in my opinion, which is taking the transfer tape off of the permanent vinyl. You really want to take your time with this part. You do need a lot of patience. Of course, I sped up the video for you guys, but this part took me about 8 minutes in total to get the transfer tape off of the vinyl. Once you get through this part, everything else is going to be super easy. This is definitely the most difficult thing, is trying to get the stencil onto the mat. As I'm pulling up some of the transfer tape, I'm putting my butcher paper back on the design and applying a little bit of heat just to help me get the design to stay down. Again, I have tried freezer paper before. This is just what works best for me, since the permanent vinyl is very sticky. It helps, in my personal opinion, stay on the mat better. But feel free to use whatever you'd like. This is just what works for me. You can tell it's very stuck to the mat now. I'm gonna press onto my design, make sure it's secured, and then I'm gonna head into my garage. Now for the best part, you're gonna grab your Flex Seal. You're gonna spray a generous amount over your stencil. Be sure not to get it outside of the green painter's tape. I like my designs to look dark, so I put a whole bunch. Then I let it dry for about an hour, and then I slowly remove my stencil. You want to be super careful. Then I grab a bag and put it close to my design. I grab my tweezers and I pull off slowly all of the pieces that need to be removed. Again, be super careful. You can easily mess up your mat. This is what it looks like, nice and dark. So this part is optional, but I wanted to add some color to my mat, so I'm using this green acrylic paint and I am applying it in between the leopard spots very carefully. So I actually let this sit overnight. Now I am going to spray it with this matte clear spray that seals and protects it. So the Flex Seal is already waterproof, but I just like to do this just to make sure that nothing's gonna happen to the design, since people are gonna be stepping on it and stuff like that. So I'm just gonna shake my spray and spray directly over the design. Okay, so our mat is done drying completely. This is what the finished product looks like. I did mess up just a little bit. I did get a little dot of Flex Seal right here, so you have to be super careful when removing your stencil. Okay, so that's how I make a personalized doormat. I hope this video was super helpful for you guys. Everyone does do it differently. That's just what works for me. The hardest part for me is actually getting the design onto the mat. That's what takes the longest, but once you have it on your mat, it is really easy sailing from there. So I hope you now know how to make a doormat. Everything that I used to create this mat will be linked in the description down below, so check that out if you'd like. Please comment down below any questions that you might have. Give this video a like if you learned anything, and subscribe if you want to. Thank you guys so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. I will see you in the next video.